Hello, have you seen one of these? It's a circle attachment, and what it does is it sews perfect circles for you on your sewing machine. So the way you attach this, now this one is for a Janome new home sewing machine. I haven't got one for any other machine. It's not compatible with other brands. It's only usable on this Janome machine. And I think it's just because they use a standard cap on their bobbins. So what you do is you just remove your bobbin lid and you pop this part of the attachment to your machine just like that. Now you've got a little clip here that just flicks up and down, and that just allows this slider to go along the gauge. And this measurements here, you can see they are in both centimeters. Sorry, I'm just screwing the camera on. That's in centimeters, and it's measured in imperial, in inches. So you know when you want to make things that are perfect circle, like G-tube pads, feeding pads, or maybe breast pads, or you're just making some designs, quilting designs on your outfits or on your blankets, and you just want that perfect circle. Well, this cool gadget will help you get there. So what I've got here is a piece of fabric which I've sandwiched between wadding, got a bit of fluff there, and another piece of calico, but this second piece of calico has got interfacing on, and actually that's going to be the top layer. So I'm going to pop that into the machine and we're going to sew a perfect circle. So the way to decide what you want to do, you could draw a few circles around and just find the centres of them, but I just want this very random. Or if you're going to make a specific round thing that's finished with a satin stitch on the edge, you would just pop a piece of fabric in there anyway, wouldn't you? So why don't we just find a centre point on this fabric and give ourselves a cross for our centre there. We remove this cap from that point there, and we're just going to place our pin in that reveals a pin there, and it's quite blooming sharp, so be careful with that. So what we do is we just place our cross that we've created on the fabric and the wadding, just a little bit more to the centre, and place that right dead centre with that pin. And it's so sharp, seriously guys, you need to make sure you put that cap back on. Right, now it suggests using a straight stitch for the first time, or just as, but I have practiced a little bit with it, so I'm going to use a satin stitch. Now, because it's just going to be a breast pad, I'm going to just do a regular satin stitch. Now, a satin stitch is just very close zigzags together, but you can get them in arrowheads, diamonds, and all sorts on your machine. Might be a bit more fancy than mine. So the way to do it is find a zigzag width that you want. So I'm going to go all the way. And then I'm also going to make sure that, because it's a satin stitch, I need my length to be very close together. So I'm going to just knock it because it's very stiff, this. And I've got a special thread in there, which you'll see in a minute. So what happens is, all I'm going to do is the fabric is pivoting around this pin and just going around there. Now what I haven't done, as you might have guessed, is lock that. So if I flick that back up, that's locked that slider, which means that pin's locked in the same place. So just follow that round just to make sure that our circle is going to be wholly on that fabric. Let's cover that up, switch the machine on. We've got our zigzag set up. Let's see what result we get. Did I break the needle? No, I heard a click. I'm just checking if I broke the needle. wouldn't it be great if we ended up in the same colour? I'm not sure if we have. Just knock the pin pot over. Let's have a look. So just take that guard off that pin and let's have a look. See what we get. Let's just put that back on and cut that thread. And that's what we get. So we've got a lovely circle, perfect circle. And I actually didn't change it to a zigzag, I changed it to a decorative stitch. So what I'll do is, what we can do here now is go on a zigzag, and we know that the narrow stitching is close, but we could still get closer. So I'm going to just reduce the length a tiny bit more now. It's quite stiff, this. And these sliders on these machines aren't very good. So what we'll do is we'll pierce through in that hole again, but what I'll do is I'll make the diameter a little bit, or the radius just a fraction bigger, so that we get a satin stitch on the outside. And actually what this can be is a beautiful pad for somebody who might need it. It's got cotton wadding in there, so it'll be it's fine for anybody who might be feeding a little one. So the way to do this now, I'm going to be dead careful. So if you look on the measurement, I'm on 5 1/4. Well, I'm just going to move 1/4 of an inch there. Let's see if you can see that. So I'm just going to move over 1/4. So just carefully flip that over and then just go 1/4 of an inch. And then try and get our pin prick there, exactly on the pin there. So you can see it on the other side. No, very close. You need to get accurately. There we go, bang on. And I know that because it slid through too easily. Right, okay, cap back on. And actually what we've done is we've made it smaller. I needed to go the other way, didn't I? Now, why didn't you help me with that one? Okay, so we're going the other way. Going the wrong way. We want to go that way, 1/4 of an inch that way. So we had that in perfectly. Find that pin prick and get it right dead centre. There we go. Put cap back on. Right, that's better. Let's get rid of those threads. Pop that down and let's go. These threads away because they're going to cause us problems. Oops. Get that one out of the way. Almost there. go. Right, so hook to the top, and let's just zoom out and you can see what we've got. So put that back on, don't lose it. Oh, fingers and thumbs. Oh, not quite finished, I thought we were done. Okay, so if I carry on with that, because I've not moved that pin, I can carry on and get that finished. What happened is I thought I'd finish, and what happened is the threads come out. Does the thread come out, or we have to bobbin? Let's have a look. Out of bobbin. Okay, so that's a good lesson for you. So make sure you've got plenty of bobbin thread in there. Make sure you have a lovely colour that you want to use. I think you've got the gist of it there. And all we need to do now is just make it wearable or usable. So what we would do then is just check it's all alright on the other side, which it looks like it is, and just snip very close to the line, but careful not to snip into the stitching. And if you have an embroidery magnifying glass or something like that, you can just check to make sure you can get even closer and that you're not going to snip any of your stitching. And the other thing is, if you do, it doesn't matter because it's quite wide. So what I'm going to do here is, even though it's quite wide, I'm going to just go over them anyway. So keep an eye on your threads. Okay, and actually what will be handy is if you do use this as a G-tube cap, is you would go up there anyway and do a satin stitch around there, and that would be an opening for you to be able to put it on the pipe. So there you go, beautiful.